This content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. The Better Traders is not a broker-dealer. We are not an investment advisor. We have no access to non-public information about publicly traded companies or cryptocurrencies. And this is not a place for the giving or receiving of financial advice, advice concerning investment decisions, or tax or legal advice. The value of investments and the income derived from them can go down as well as up. Investors may not get back the amount they invested, and past performance is not a guide to future performance. Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Moon and Papa, and you're watching the live stream. It's on the wrong screen. That's weird. There we go. It's a little bit bright, a lot of it bright, brighter than usual. I'm going to cut the small talk and just going to get right to it. Things don't look good, do they? So the first thing that you need to know is this. So I don't know. We're at the point right now where there's going to be a lot of like half truths and guesses, but when the markets are really fragile like they are right now, don't mess with it. Don't play with it. Don't go like, maybe. So for all of you that still have access to BlockFi, you might want to remove your funds. For all of you that have access to FTX US still, you might want to consider moving your funds to an offline wallet, or better yet, a cold storage wallet. But the news that's over, no, I can't do it. What? There, over there. Yeah, is this. Alameda game plan headed into the unlock of almost 1 billion SOL in about 21 hours from now is likely. It doesn't matter if it's going to happen or not. This is enough fear to really make things terrible. So this was posted at 8 p.m. and I just want to bring up the chart for TradingView, 8 p.m. So let's see. We're going to go to the, all right, and skip ahead. So 8 p.m. last night. So it's about here, $18 or so. So there's already a whole lot of fear with this. All it takes is just a couple of things, whether or not they're true. So we're in this unfortunate situation right now where it's just not going to be a good situation. There's a lot of fear in the market. So don't get excited about buying the dip for anything just yet. There are, I made that video on Monday saying to watch out for FTT and for SOL and to stay away. I'm really glad that I made that video because FTT has dropped like a rock since. I don't need to bring up the chart to show you what's happened. What an interesting timeline, right? Where BitBoy is right. Okay, so anyway, what's going to be happening is that there's going to be a lot of volatility. The problem with this is that while you might want to consider, or you might be thinking, like, oh, I'm going to short it. Just be really careful. Just because there's going to be a lot of offloading happening doesn't mean that it's a good opportunity to short, because the markets are crazy volatile right now. You didn't need me to tell you that. I want to focus on a couple of things in the TradFi world first. So CPI numbers, or the consumer price index numbers, come out this week. That is going to be a big driver of TradFi price action. Right now, TradFi is doing so-so. There was a bit of a breakout on this trend line, which was great, but just for one day, really similar to back here in August. My hope was that, and I say that with a smile because right now there's not too much hope, but my hope was that it would go up a little bit higher and then it would go into December to create a rally. But if CPI numbers are bad and the market deems them bad, then it seems more likely for this to retrace down lower. So of course, Dow moving down 11% or so, SPX moving down another 6%. Crypto's already down a lot. So you might be wondering a couple of things. One, can crypto fall further? Yes. Yes, it can. Two, is my bear market theory proven wrong? Yes. Yes, it's very wrong. So now we're at the point where looking at TradFi, looking at everything else, there are only a couple of safe havens to look at right now. So if you still have funds and you're still trading on an exchange, what you might want to consider looking into is Pax Gold. Mainly because, especially if you're trading against BTC, Pax Gold is up about 37% ever since all this stuff really went down, more like 30%, which makes sense, even though, or no, here it is, even though gold has really only moved up 5% or so. So gold is actually holding its own right now. You might want to consider some Pax Gold. We've had basically a triple bottom happen here on the weekly time frame, which is impressive. And it would make sense seeing that RSI on the weekly time frame is starting to curl up and move up higher, even though the price hasn't reacted yet. So gold isn't dead. The gold is probably the safest thing right now because crypto is obviously not. So for all of you that are trading still, if you are into using bots, sure, you could use bots. If you're just into scalping or things like that, you can trade and buy Pax Gold with your BTC. So some interesting things about this. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, Pax Gold against BTC is obviously bullish because Bitcoin's bearish. Duh. It is very, very, very overbought right now. It was at 92 yesterday, and today it's starting to curl down. So if Bitcoin starts to make a slight breather up, then of course this could fall. But it doesn't discount the fact that if Bitcoin continues to tumble, then it might be wise to trade against Bitcoin using Pax Gold, because at least that is more stable and you can earn more BTC as the price of Bitcoin falls and Pax Gold stays stable. And if, of course, gold just continues to move up higher, well, then there's that. So traditional markets are basically on edge with CPI numbers, which are going to be coming out this week, which is fun. Not really. The VIX, which is the volatility index on the daily time frame, fell down for a while, which was, again, this is telling me that things were looking really good. Now it's starting to curl up just a little bit. It's probably due to CPI numbers. We'll see what happens. That could also spike this up. And of course, if SPX and Dow are going down, this is going to shoot up. So again, gold is a safe haven right now, funny enough. So one other thing that's really interesting is that currencies are starting to fall down a little bit, which is great. And I'm looking at the valuations of these in regards to the dollar. So like right now, you can get 146 yen to the dollar. And right now, the euro is at parity with the dollar. So these are good signs for these world currencies because the conversion rate right now between the yen and the dollar is way too high. Historically, it should be at around 110 or so. So it's crazy overbought. The reason for that is because of this, for the DXY. So this bear flag, this bull flag that I've drawn from a previous live stream for the Better Traders Club. We can see this other one in play here. There's another one in play here. This one is still in progress. It is still playing out. There are a couple of things, though, that I really like about this that I'm getting mildly excited about. One is that if the CPI numbers don't come in hot, if things are just kind of flat and like, oh, things aren't so bad, then I would love to see this close below 110 and just to continue to fall. Anything below that is going to be magic for the Dixie, because a falling Dixie is good for the stock market. It's good for other currencies. The other thing that's really good about this is that this really, really, really long trend line that I have drawn here, the Dixie actually dropped into it, and basically it's acting as support right now. But crossing below that would be, again, amazing. It would be a sign of weakness for the Dixie. Another sign of weakness is that on the weekly time frame, this is the closest that the Dixie has come to touching the TBO's fast line, which is a moving average. So we can also see that RSI is starting to plummet down lower and lower, showing that it's losing strength. Again, very, very good. So a lot of these things I've been watching specifically because a couple weeks ago, back here, the week of September, last week of September, I was getting really excited because I was expecting the Dixie to start falling. because it knocked on the extension of the fib lines. So now we're waiting for it to test support here to see what is it going to do at 1085. If it holds, then we're just going to kind of have to wait and see. But breaking below that would be a godsend. That would be amazing. That would give a lot of relief in the markets, a lot of relief in other currencies. So we have to keep that in mind. Even though crypto is falling, we're still kind of on the fence about what else is happening. So looking at the top market cap, yes, things look quote unquote green right now. And while FTX is up 15%, yeah, it's up 15%, but that's only because it's down, what, 90% or so. So just to catch you up to speed, FTX is not going to be bought out by Binance, which is a wise choice in my opinion, because why would you want to buy an exchange that basically is bankrupt? There are too many liabilities on that. So there are also lots of other collateral damage with FTX. So collateral damage meaning that there are other investments, there are other companies that FTX has tried to acquire and has acquired, but now what happens to them, like BlockFi? So that's why I was saying you might want to just, you might want to consider removing funds off BlockFi. And again, moving it to a hardware wallet, something that you have control of. That's, I think, very important right now. So in regards to FTT, no, I'm not buying. I'm not touching this chart whatsoever. It's not worth it to me at all. And you'll also notice this red line right here. Now, I wasn't planning on sharing this because this is for our club members, but this right here is called the stop loss hunting alert. So the stop loss hunting alert has actually been going off for quite some time now. If I go over to our private server, yesterday at 9 a.m., so today is Thursday. Let me go over here. So over here, yesterday at, right where it starts, 9 a.m., is when it first triggered. And then it just triggered again today at 10. So I'm pointing this out because the last time this triggered, and it actually had been a really, really, really long time since this happened. And I'll show you over here on Discord. We have a channel that I push all the alerts from TradingView over here so people know. But the last one we had was over here on October 29th. So if I show you the chart for October 29th, I mean, I remember seeing this alert and thinking, oh, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And I thought, oh, well, nothing really happened because I usually wait 24 to 48 hours to see what will happen. And the price went up. I was like, oh, great. That's nice. And then, of course, the dump happened. And now we have it triggering 2 times. And Bitcoin's already at 16,100. So all I'm saying is that the stop loss hunting alert, the whole point of it is that if you have any positions that are in profit, you might want to consider moving your stop loss into break even or at profit just to be safe. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to go up or down. It just means be careful because this is a time of high volatility. Thanks a lot. I didn't know that already, but still it's nice to have a secondary form of input telling you. So that's what this red bar is right here. So for BTC's price, this is probably what you're wanting to know. So how do things change for me? Well, for me, I'm looking at all of these bear targets. So all these bear targets I had previously drawn back here. So you'll note that a lot of these are tied to, or based on rather, a lot of these points of support and resistance up here. You can see that, and also right here. So 13K or so, which I thought was like, no, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to be okay. Well, now we're looking at that situation. So right now we are currently sitting at our first line of support, in my opinion. And this is again based off of a couple of things. The TBO, resistance or support line right here, it's so long. This is the weekly time frame. So it was holding this spot for a year and 7 months, almost 80 weeks. So that to me is strong support / resistance. The next line obviously is tied to this point right here in June. And then we have these points here at about, just over 10K. So the real bad scenarios are continued bad news. Bitcoin continues to tumble, and we see it fall down to 10K, like a lot of people are saying, like Gareth Soloway was saying all along. One other thing I want to point out about this too is that you'll notice that there's this new yellow dot here on the weekly time frame for the TBO. When I saw this yesterday, I was not happy because this symbol is the inversion of this. These white dots are TBO breakouts, signaling that there should be or there could be bullish movement heading to the upside as soon as we have them, especially when there's 3 in a row. Right now, we're looking at just one after a massive 1 week loss of 23%. Not liking this because, again, this symbol means that we should see explosive moves to follow. Not now, but to follow, because it matters what happens after these symbols. It matters not what happens here on the open long, but what happens after it. Or not what happens right here on the open short, but what happens after it. So this is why I'm not enjoying this. Could we see Bitcoin's price come back up? Yeah, I mean, we could. I haven't done this yet, but let's go ahead and look at our resistance fan, and I'm actually going to draw a couple of new lines that I'm seeing. So we have this line right here of resistance. Like, this is pretty clear, but something else that we see is, well, at least I'm seeing it, is a parallel channel. So a parallel channel is something that's really interesting where we can just, I'm going to extend this out, extend the right line, where we can basically give ourselves rather a channel that we can trade within, or at least visually see. Let me just do this. There we go. So this is actually holding up pretty well, roughly speaking, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but I think that this general range is good. So I mean, this also gives us a bottom of a 13K. So there's that possibility. One other thing about this is that, in essence, this is also I'm actually not even going to say it. We're just going to watch to see what happens with this. So it's just an idea that I haven't really explored other than just recognizing right now and just seeing the chart pattern, because it's clear that we're in this downtrend. To me, things feel really oversold. But again, it's crypto, so it could go lower. One thing that I've noticed on several charts, and I just posted basically a short novel on the Better Traders Club server here, talking about what I'm seeing, what I really think is going to be happening, but it's really about this. Right now, this is how I'm approaching trading. Could Bitcoin go lower? Yes. Could it bounce from where it is? Possibly. It's incredibly oversold. It just depends on what happens with events like this. This fear of selling SOL more, creating more selling pressure in the market. Don't know. I mean, things could fall lower, that's for sure. So the way that I'm approaching the market right now is from a cautionary stance, and I'm trying to make sure that I am focusing on trades that I know I can make and ways that I can rebuild my account. So yes, I have not all in stables. I took out several positions on Friday last week in anticipation for what was setting up to honestly be a bullish move. And in my defense, I mean, I wasn't wrong. Looking at this, looking at a lot of these tokens coming back here, everything was starting to really set up for a nice move. So what we've experienced over the last 48 hours rather, is a black swan event. So if you were trading back in 2020 with me, and you were here for the COVID crash, yeah, you were here for this, where it was a 1-day drop for BTC of 40%. And if we're just going to go down the wick, I mean, that was 51% or so. That was a mega drop. So we're basically in a similar situation, except there's the possibility that we could keep dropping. So seeing BTC's price fall 23% over 2 days, in comparison, it's not as bad as the COVID crash, but it's not as good as it could be either. So I'm not saying that I think we're going to come up and recover from here. I'm just that I have a real wait and see stance right now with this. So does this mean that I've turned off my bots? No. I actually have BTC bots running right now. Does this mean I'm not trading? Nope. I am definitely trading right now. I'm trading mainly against Bitcoin. And the reason for that is because I still believe in Bitcoin long term. I still believe that Bitcoin will one day be worth a whole lot of money. Therefore, it's important to me to continue to build my portfolio. So if Bitcoin is at 20K, if it's at 200K, if it's at 2K, it doesn't matter to me because I'm going to continue to stack sats. Now, I'm not throwing those numbers out to scare you. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to go down to 2K. I could feel that. I could feel it through the lens, even though the live stream is delayed slightly. But I think it's important to know that you have to understand what your long-term game plan is for crypto, because it's a long-term play. And if you've learned anything from this recent crash, not to say that Bitcoin is it's free from market volatility, but there's a reason why I talk a lot about Bitcoin. There's a reason why I look at Bitcoin. There's a reason why I have the majority of my focus and my time is on accumulating more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is censorship free. It's privacy. It has a realm of, not a realm of, that's a weird way to say it, but it has elements of being privacy based. Like you can have your own tokens on your own wallet. You don't have to tell anybody how much you have. Things are transparent on the blockchain, but still it's not controlled by any one entity. There are a lot of arguments for Bitcoin right now. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist at all. I do like other alts, but right now isn't the time to go shopping, in my opinion. And I'm not doing that. I'm just focusing on trading. So I want to go back to TradingView just to talk about one more thing. So I just posted a video last night on YouTube called How to Choose. Let me just pop over here. This one. I spent about 30 minutes talking about how to choose tokens, what I'm looking for, what I'm looking at, and I've shared 4 different trading pairs in that video to help you understand my thought process, what I find to be worth paying attention to, or what I find to be coins that I will be using and I will be trading up my account with. I highly recommend watching this video. It's going to fill in a lot of the blanks because I'm not going to go into all the details. But I do want to review these tokens again and just to explain the why. So I'm going to go to the daily time frame over here. I know a lot of you are against trend trading, or rather maybe you've just stumbled on my channel and you're like, trend trading in this market? Well, yeah, it just depends on your time frame, and it depends on what you consider to be a trend. Like Trust Wallet has been on a very clear trend ever since 2021. Even though it's at the very top, it was at the very top of the trend here. It took time to recover and it kept going. It took time to recover and it kept going. It took time to recover and it kept going. It took time to recover and it kept going. I'm going to be following tokens like this that are just trending up. This to me seems logical, to follow the money. There's nothing wrong with following the money. It's not a dumb play. And this is where bot trading comes into a real strength, because trading this right now, buying at the top doesn't feel so great. But if you have safety trades that are all ready to absorb that negative 12% move, there you go. And that's why this is a good bot trading pair, in my opinion. BNB is in a similar situation. It's just been really, really strong for a long time. And because SAR CZ is now in power and he has reclaimed the crypto throne, no one's going to mess with Binance ever again. No one's ever going to mess with CZ again. I think I'm not going to say it's safe to say that BNB is here to stay, but they right now have the strongest token as far as the exchanges goes. It still is not infallible, but this is a chart that I would be willing to use my Bitcoin to trade up my Bitcoin with, not to accumulate BNB, but just to use my BTC to grow my BTC stack. That's my main point right now. Now I got these other 2 pairs that are these blue flags. These are fun. This is amazing because I wish I kept it. Oh, I did. So this is exactly what I used in the video last night. I want you to see this. This concept works. So this is called laddering. It's a fantastic strategy. I'm going to take this away. Oh, and I have this orange line as well. So what I want to show you with this is how this works. And this is literally it in play right now. Now, again, these weren't drawn based on support or resistance. It was just drawn and copied and pasted. That's all. But this idea works really well. If we go to a faster time frame, this is how it works. It's almost like a grid bot, except you're not using a grid bot. You're just layering your buys and selling. You're layering your buys, rinse, repeat, and selling. Layering your buys and selling. This technique works really, really well on a falling chart, so long as you are layering and you're waiting. It means not all of your funds are active, but it's a great strategy for trading. Gas, again, I don't mind sharing this token, by the way. RAD, RAD's not so great because it is a relatively low volume token, having only an average of like 8 or 9 BTC trading volume per day. But I don't have a really huge YouTube channel, and there aren't a lot of people on my channel that are watching these live streams anyway, so you're welcome. So I don't think volume will be an issue necessarily, but gas is one that a lot of people can trade, and I think it's going to be one of those charts that's going to continue to give. I actually have a trade right now with gas. It's running and I'm waiting to take profit. It's just one of those, you just kind of wait. You just trade the range over and over. So while you can use bots, they will work well. You're going to be able to grow your account faster with A/B trading techniques. So I don't talk about it as much anymore because most people really like the whole concept of automated trading using bots. But in situations like this, you're going to be much better off using your Bitcoin. If you, assuming you have some, because I still have a lot of my Bitcoin left, I'm just going to be continuing to trade it up. I'm going to stay within the parameters of that order book, not to exceed it, because that's what the TBT base to quote converter does. It shows me how much volume's there. And I'm just going to continue to trade up my stack. So that way I have more Bitcoin once we see prices recover at some point in the future. So again, I highly recommend watching this how to choose video. It's really going to help fill in a lot of the blanks that you may have. So let me bring this up. Perfect. Okay. All right. So I see a couple of comments here, which is great. The sound is good. Good. Just picked up 100 SOL. Okay. Be careful. I hope all the centralized exchanges collapse. Bring on the era of decentralized exchanges like BISC, Uniswap, the way crypto should be decentralized. You know what? There's a good point to that because no one's in control. However, there are still market makers that can run those exchanges into the ground. So I understand what you're saying, but just be careful be careful what you wish for. That's all. Am I still running my Power BTC bot? Yes, actually, I just turned it back on and I'm running it again. And for those of you that don't know, I actually have a video that I talk about my Power, not Poor. That's how we feel right now is Poor, but my Power BTC bot. So I am running my Power bot basically because I like this price action. If I go back on the daily time frame, it's right in this perfect little range. I really like what it's doing right here. It looks good to me as far as respecting support, previous support. And I can wait and be patient and layer in my trades. Again, I have BTC, so I don't mind using it to grow it with the Power bot. Yep. And KuCoin is in trouble. Excellent. Well, I didn't know that, but I did see that they are trending on Twitter, which is never a good sign. Oh, that's okay. I'll have to look it up. But it's, yeah. Let's see, KuCoin. Oops. Oh, okay. Well, this is what we got so far. I mean, this is 12 hours ago. So we got all these exchanges doing a proof of reserves. So OKX, Binance, KuCoin, PolaniX, Huobi. I don't see anything here except for stuff like this. But actually, I did see this, and I was like, what? But I read down, and this. Support sorted me out, props to KuCoin. So you got to be careful, because saying stuff like this can really push people over the edge. I don't know. I think that everyone is right now really just freaked out. So just be careful. There's going to be a lot of FUD. You're going to see a lot of news flying around, a lot of accusations. So if you are the kind of person that recognizes and can stand back and look at the Twitter feed and see all the pain and all the fear and all the anxiety, this is honestly one of the better times to start trading, is when people are feeling like this, or rather a better time to start looking for opportunities to buy, maybe at lower prices, or maybe to even start stacking here. So you really do have to step out of yourself. There's nothing wrong with your emotions. I admit that I myself was feeling just really drained yesterday, but today, waking up to lower prices, I actually feel more energized, weirdly enough, mainly because I remember, oh wait, no, I did this last year in June. Oh wait, no, I did this back March 2020. Oh wait, no, I already did this back in November 2018. And every single time my account is recovered, it just takes time, and it helps me to review a lot of the rules that are in this thing, the Better Traders Journal, just to help me become a better trader, to help me grow as a trader. So I understand that things are crazy right now. I am posting as many updates as I possibly can over here in Discord, given the craziness that's happening. So if you need help, and if you want to get more updates from me and watch lists that are specifically curated for this bearish market condition, I even posted an updated watch list and an updated video after yesterday's tumble. You got to join the Better Traders Club. It's a great place to be. And I know that people are getting the support that they need there and the help that they need. And they're also helping each other, which is great. So I think that, let's see. Oh, I see 2 more questions. And let me see. Yes, astronaut, buy when there's blood in the streets. I mean, be careful. It should be more like, consider scaling in when there's blood in the streets. Because you don't want to go layer in thick. I see a question though from B Jamal. Is now a good time to run USD bots? Better Trader student. Personally, no. In that video again, I don't want to just keep saying like, go watch this video, because right now I'm having a live stream. But honestly, this will explain a lot of my reasoning about why I'm running BTC-based bots, BTC-based pairs, because when Bitcoin itself is falling in price, it doesn't guarantee that AB trading pairs and not all tokens are drooping and dropping with it. But if I would look at the performance right now, since I have this open, so BNB isn't terrible, but this is a big setback. So which would you rather your bots be trading? This or this? Which would you rather your bots be trading? This or this? So there's nothing wrong with this chart. It's just gotten set back. So that's why I think for me, it makes more sense to trade against BTC when BTC is bearish and falling, because some of these tokens will just continue to rise. Now, it doesn't mean that you can go all in and you ape all your funds into this. It's not what I'm saying at all. Still have to be careful. You still have to use discernment, and you still have to know how to allocate funds appropriately to your account. So I think it's important to step back and also figure out what are you comfortable with. So couple of lessons. If you have funds on an exchange that you're not willing to lose, it might be a good idea to start moving some off. I have a Ledger Nano. I have my own hardware wallet that I've moved funds to. I'm comfortable with that. I'm okay. I also have other wallets, so that's okay with me. So the funds that are on exchange, I'm okay with that right now. The other thing is to not chase. Don't try to buy the dip. I talked about this a lot in that video, especially in the crypto crash video about how to identify when the final dip is in. You're never going to get it perfectly. You're going to wait. And the third thing is it's a balance between not being completely ignorant to everything that's happening and definitely not reading and believing everything that's happening. You have to find some sort of place in the middle where you're not easily swayed by what's happening, but you can look at things objectively. It's going to be hard to be objective in markets like this. So things that might help would be to write down reasons why you want to buy a token and just sit on it. It could fall, it could rise, but really things are on a really nice discount right now. So if we do see a spring back, it's okay, because we've already poked down this far. It wouldn't surprise me to see a little bit of a spring and then to retest, maybe drop lower. That's kind of how these things happen. So don't feel panicked or anxious about having to layer your orders. Just take your time with it. There's really no rush. I don't think things are going to correct right away. That's not how these things work, unfortunately. So I really appreciate everybody hanging out with me today. 5 minutes over, so I got to stop because I have to do other videos and other work today. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And if there are issues, if you are struggling, please email me. It's Moon and Papa at The Better Traders, or you can join the Discord and you can reach out to me there. Or you can also see it on the About page on YouTube over here, where you can go view email address, and then you can click it, and then you can do it that way. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I think, oh, sorry, I didn't even show that, but it's over here on the About channel, or sorry, About tab, and you can click on that, and then you can send me an email if you really need it. Awesome. Well, you know what to do. Until the next time, stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.